Welcome to a new series on my channel. As you can see from the name, I've called this Neon Genesis ALEX-vangelion. And you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? And it's quite simple. I have a friend named Alexis, or some might call him Alex. Say hi.
Hey, what's up?
And I talk a lot about Evangelion, and he's never seen Evangelion in its entirety. Instead, he's
No.
seen Death and Rebirth, or Death True Squared, if you want to be that guy, and End of Evangelion, and that's all he's seen.
Well, I watched like the first half of Rebirth.
Oh, 1.11, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's okay because it's still just the beginning of the series anyway. That first rebuild movie is like just the first couple episodes of the series into a movie. I kid you not, they just reanimated all that, but with like more KFC and Pizza Hut branding. So it's like crazy
Uh,
catsy.
I love the branding. It was awesome. I
Yeah.
watched the original and I watched the first episode. Like, where's all the branding at?
Where's the KFC? Where's the Adidas? Where's the Uniqlo? I'm not sure that's the actual
Yeah.
brandings that used in the movie. All I remember is that KFC was one of them, if I remember
Uh,
correctly.
uh, I don't know. I remember the cup of noodles. I know that was one of them.
Where's the Nissan? Yeah. Where's the where's the Nissan? Where's the Nessun noodles? Where's the KFC? Fun fact. Uh, do we all just forget that in Jujutsu Kaisen, a separate anime from this series, that old Gojo and Gato broke up in front of a KFC?
Wait, you're lying.
So the location that where they're having their argument, uh,
There's a KFC in the background.
yeah, in the anime it's not there, and I think in the manga it's the actual KFC, but the location is actually based on a real location uh in
In
Tokyo,
Japan. Uh
in
huh.
Tokyo, Japan, and it's an actual KFC. So people always refer to it as the infamous KFC breakup.
I never noticed the background because I was so immersed in the actual moment. I didn't.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Wow. Okay, that's funny.
Suguru Gato in his wisdom asks Satoru Gojo, "Are you Satoru Gojo because you're the strongest, or are you the strongest because you're Satoru Gojo in front of a KFC?" And then Gojo was ready
That's
to hollow purple him through a bunch of people in front of a
yeah.
KFC. So
But Colonel Sanders was his conscience for a second. He's like, no, don't do it, Gojo.
he's like, "Don't do Gojo, please. Now that's gonna ruin the company image if there's a bunch of people die in front of my restaurant." And that's why he
Why
let
don't you
him
go
go.
inside and get the KFC lunchtime special?
Why? Why would you go inside get that lunchtime special? Bring some of that back over to the Tokyo students. Why don't you? All three of them left.
Ah.
I always find it funny that's supposed to be a school, and there's like
Uh
three
huh.
students. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of that. I just want to point that out because Evangelion KFC, KFC got to witness a breakup in that world, and Evangelion they got to witness a angel come out of nowhere and fight an Ava unit. So that's pretty cool. That KFC is always at the prime at these like epic centers.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, uh, if you're ready to begin, I got one last thing to explain that this will not be a whole series retrospective within one video. This is only the first four episodes. This episode, but moving forward, we'll be covering about 4 episodes.
Should be like 6 recordings in total, right? Because it's 24, 25 episodes.
There's 26 episodes, but which means that if you're doing your math correctly, that means one episode. the final episodes of the original series, 25 and 26, will be covered in their own separate recording. So,
Okay.
also, just to kind of give context, we're not only just gonna do the original series. We're also gonna be right after we're doing that. We're gonna go back and rewatch End of Evangelion, and then after that, we're gonna watch through Rebuild, and luckily, we exist in a time now where if this is a sponsor, if I had a sponsor for this video, I'd be like, let's each watch all them with NordVPN. With NordVPN, you can go and watch all these things on America River. And now, the really cool thing about living in the States is that all this Evangelion content is easily accessible if you know how. You pirate it. I'm just kidding, no. Can you imagine? You pirate it. Don't give them any money. No.
Arg, they made enough money already, matey.
Studio Kara and G-Kids made enough money already. They sold their rights to Netflix and Amazon Prime Video. No, okay.
Well, you can make the argument that they like Pokemon, they never stop making money.
Well, I mean, Pokemon's a show that will always continue, minus with or without Ash Ketchup, but Evangelion, that's like a series kind of done with now, I guess. And currently where it stands.
But I mean, they still sell all that merch. I think a new Unit 1 figure was released recently. Like in January.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's a good thing to bring up, that Evangelion will probably is one of those series I'll forever like keep selling merchandise. But regardless of that, this intro has gone on for too long. It's time we hop into episode 1. So, brief summary, episode 1. We meet Shinji, this like twink who shows up, and he meets this hot woman who picks him up in her like sweet car, and then oh no, shittily enough, here comes a monster to wrecking the town. Like, he thinks he owns the place. And the military are, of course, the Japanese military is not enough to handle this monster, and they're just like, and they go up to the twink's dad, because the twink's dad summoned him here, and he told that hot lady to go pick him up, and they're just like, it's up to you. You figure this out, smart guy. And he's like, don't you worry, I will. And then the boy and the hot lady show up, and she's like, here, let me show you something very cool. And then she shows him check out this big guy here, you know? And he's like, did my dad make this? And his dad shows up like, yeah, I made that. Now get in it. And he's like, no, I don't, no. He's a big man. I can't get in a big man. And he's like, if you won't get in the big man, then this poor injured woman, they're not women. They're not. She's like 14. This poor injured girl will get in this instead because you do not want to get in the big man. And then he's like, fine, I'll do it because I feel bad that this poor injured woman will have to be going in there. And then he goes in there, and he's ready to fight. And then episode 1 ends right before the fight. Because you gotta turn in for episode 2. You know, you left on this cliffhanger. We gotta see this fight, right? Because this big man looks awesome. This big monster, he's wrecking up the place. We gotta tune in. So anyway, thoughts on episode 1. Let me hear your thoughts.
This was not my first time seeing the events of episode 1. Because, what was it, last year you told me you should watch Evangelion. In fact, this show is kind of like the culmination of all the times you've told me you should go watch Evangelion. Yeah, but I remember watching episode 1 the first time in my life, and I was blown away by its animation and its visuals and everything about it. But watching it now again, I mean, I was still blown away, by the initial things, but I started noticing more details, and I realized this is a great introduction to the show. You know, like there is so much good foreshadowing, and good like initial impressions for all the characters. I've noticed that throughout episodes 1 through 4, sure, it is technically still like the beginning of the series, but so far, characters have stayed very consistent from this first episode. Like they had Misato, right? Or was it Misako? No, Misato.
No, it's Misato, yeah.
Yeah, Misato is stupid. Like she's kind of.
She's not.
She's a little dumb. Like think about it. Like episode 1, she tells Shinji, "Hey, wait for me outside. I'll be right there." Where she knows there's a giant battle happening with the military and the angel, and she nonchalantly comes in with her car and. Which made me laugh, by the way. I was like, this is like BS, right? Because her car showing up in time stopped Shinji from being blown away. I thought that was hilarious. And then later, when they did a bigger explosion, then the car actually flips over. And they still survive it. I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, she knows this is happening, right? Like, she knows this is what's going on in the area, and yet she chose to meet Shinji here.
Do you ever think that maybe this might be the intention?
Like she wants him to experience that? In that sense, no. But in the sense of writing for her character, like I said, she was dumb, but she's just kind of like.
There's something to know about Misato, and while episode 1 does portray her as a bit, I guess you can say dumb, but I would say it's closer to her being a bit of an airhead. She's just like, "Oh, yes. I'll pick you up in this car. Oh no, my car. It's kind of messed up, and I got bills, adult problem." And then they show up to Nerve. That's a bit of a discrepancy. I kind of. So for the sake of this watch through with you, because we're watching it separately, we're not watching it together. We're watching it at separate things. I'd like to point out that I'm personally watching this via the official Netflix streaming release, and I'm watching their new dub.
I'm watching the same version on Netflix.
Okay, you're watching it new dub?
Yeah. Although I'm not gonna lie, when you showed me, I still remember the original voices from when you showed me the
Rebuild.
Yeah, no, not just Rebuild.
End.
Yeah, End of Evangelion, and I kind of miss them a bit.
Actually,
because they just felt kind of right, but I mean, these voices, this dub is nice.
No, my bad. End of Ava on Netflix still has the new cast as well. My bad.
No, it wasn't End of Ava. It was you showed it to me on a different service.
Rebuild.
It was
Rebuild features the older cast from the original.
Yeah, but I recognized their voices because it was when we saw it was the anthology. It was like, oh, you should watch this before you watch End of Evangelion because it's a summary of everything that happened.
Oh, Death True Square.
Yes, there we go. Death True Square.
I guess that's what's officially called. I kind of hate the discrepancy behind it because originally it used to just be called Death and Rebirth.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't care. Just whatever they want to call their series, I guess. I mean, what does it matter to me? I'm just a fucking gaijin in America talking about it. So
they want our money, but not our opinions.
Oh, welcome to any company. Any company selling a product, they want our money. Do they care for our opinion? No, because they have our money.
Yep.
But
Anyways, yeah.
about
Those are my.
Misato's characterization.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Finish your thought. My bad. I've been interrupted that.
Oh no. Yeah. That's my thought on Misato. Like I said dumb, but I think the actual word I was looking for is airheaded. Like she's obviously, like, later on in the next 3 episodes, she's really smart, but wow, she is horribly irresponsible in many instances. But those are my thoughts on Misato. But for characters like Shinji, pretty neutral for episode 1. I mean, you get the context of his relationship with his dad and like his age, and just like, yeah, I feel the same way.
You feel the same way if you're sorry, you'd feel the same way if your father was kind of this jerk who, as far as we can tell from context up at that point, that Shinji was not important at the moment to him, and now he is.
Yeah, and like straight up, he just wants to use his kid. So I don't know. This is why I say, like, it's a great introduction for the rest of the. It's a great introduction because you immediately understand the relationship he has with his dad. You understand what his dad is basically gonna be for the rest of the show, in a sense. I mean, it could be wrong because I saw end of Evangelion, but I didn't see the whole series, so I don't know if he changes or if there's some form of small characterization or not. But ultimately, he's basically the same from this first episode to the official end of this series. In regards to the other side characters, like what was her name? Starts with a K, right? The blonde lady.
Oh, Ritsuko.
Yeah, Ritsuko.
Or Dr. Akagi. You can, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever your persuasion is.
She's just kind of there. Same with Rei. Like, they're just kind of there. Ritsuko's the more mature professional one, to the point where she's like, when she's in the middle of this whole conversation between Shinji and his dad, and like she doesn't do anything. Like that's what I mean by, like, professionalism. Like, there's more, but I'll maybe after each episode 4 I'll talk more about her overall. And the same thing goes with Rei. She's just kind of there, but they do a great job of setting her up as she's this mysterious individual, right? Like, she isn't just there to be there. Like, there's a reason why she's ominously there, you know?
You say that as if you don't know the reason why Rei is there, and there is a whole point, you know?
No. I mean like at the beginning, like when Shinji's waiting at the phone and then he sees Rei. That's what I mean by she's ominously there. Now, I understand why she's there physically, like all bandaged up to get in the robot.
No, yeah, because Gendo's a monster.
Yeah, Gendo. I mean, she would have been fine, right? Probably.
No, that's the point. That
yeah.
The reason why she's even injured in the first place is because she's not very compatible with Unit 1 in general. But that's getting it too far. That's getting it too ahead of myself. I'm very sorry. That's listen, I'll be real with you. I've told you a lot of information. For the people at home, this series is available on fucking Netflix. And if it's anime, because this is anime, and if you watch anime, you know where to watch it if you don't want to go to Netflix. And I trust you know where to watch it. Like, do not lie to me in the comments. You know where. Bastard. And if you really like, and you're just like, no, I don't like streaming services, and no, I don't like going to other places, then guess what? go pick up the full series released by G Kids with the new dub, and if that's not your persuasion, the original Japanese audio. Then why go pick it up for like $30? Then I don't have $30. Then quit complaining, because at that point you're just being a little bitcher. Okay, you're being a Shinji Ikari right now, bro, and I gotta be like Gendo, and I'm telling you, get in the robot, or else I'll make Alexis here get in instead.
I'm in pain. Don't let me get in the robot.
Yeah, guess what? Instead of getting in the robot, though, he's gonna have to rewatch the episodes that you couldn't watch.
Ah!
And that's it, I hurt him, because that's just it, I hurt him. Like,
Yeah.
it's not fun for anybody. That's the whole point. That's the subtext. But yeah, Ray showing up and kind of being like in different, like that'll be answered in later episodes. But always keep that in the back of your head when you see visions of Ray, especially if you see visions of Ray where she's not injured, even though she should be injured.
Yep. Poor Ray. But anyways, yeah, I love the build. I also love the build up to the giant robot. Like, it's this dark room and you see its hand reaching out. That was awesome.
I mean, I thought you were about to say you like the fact that we see its face and she's just like, what the? He's like, what? He's like, big robot.
Robot. It's a big robot. No, it's because, I mean, I guess it loses some of its luster in a sense because I already know how the robot looks like, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to the whole build-up of, oh, here it is, they're going up this elevator, what's in it? What's that in the background? It's a hand, beautifully colored and painted, and then you see this robot. It's just like, wow, it's awesome. They literally checked this machine out from top to bottom. What else can I say? The first angel, really cool design. I liked it. It's a great.
Hold on.
I think it sets a good precedent.
Presence. It's
that
very.
Too.
It's very. It's a bit scary. He's a bit scary, He's a little scary guy.
With his pulsing orb in the middle. I bet he's pondering that orb to this day.
Sure. But yeah, that's episode 1. I gotta point out a thing where you're just like, well, Ritsuko, all she does is kind of stand there. Yeah, because she works under Gendo. You think she has the right to be like, Gendo, no, don't send Ray in there. If anything, she's very non-pulsed by it, so nonplussed by that. But keep that in the back of your mind that she didn't seem to care that much.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Episode 2.
1. Episode 2. Oh wait, can I talk about the end credits for this? I expected to hear "Fly Me to the Moon" for the end credits, and I was very upset that it didn't play. Very upset.
Okay. So I gotta explain real quick. That is a thing about this. That's the thing about this version on Netflix is that. Okay, I want to point out that this is. This was a big point of argument and contention with many fans of the series to the point where just like, I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna support it. No, I don't like it. I already do not like this because I took out "Fly Me to the Moon."
Mm-hmm. Straight up.
Yeah. So to give context, Evangelion is kind of iconically known for its ending title sequence where you see Ray's like shadow, or just like Ray in general,
Her
like kind of
silhouette.
spinning. Ray's silhouette. Thank you. Ray's silhouette against a full moon, spinning to a cover of "Fly Me to the Moon," and that's like iconic, you know. Evangelion
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of good iconography, where people love it. Where it's either it's like its intro, people love, it's its title cards, it's the aesthetic. This thing is like so influential, but that's
Mm-hmm.
also because it is influenced by so many things, and I'll get into more of that at a different episode. But this is just the beginning. I'd like to give more context, especially for people who are thinking about also watching along
Yeah.
and kind of getting this. But if not, in general, this series doesn't have spoilers. This show is from 1994.
It's
It
kind
came
of
out.
hard not to be spoiled at this point in time.
Yeah, this show is older than you, so if you have, if you're gonna say spoilers, but I haven't even seen it, then it's on net. Like I said, you figure out the place you want to watch it, smart guy. I'm not your dad. But
Yeah,
anyway,
but okay, episode 2.
yeah. No, no, well, I was gonna say. So they replaced that whole back the Flying to the Moon with like a, kind of a generic like piano thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think this piano thing has an actual song, and people are probably gonna think, "Oh, he's uneducated." To be honest, like I said, I'm watching this on Netflix. It skips that ending right away, so I haven't had a chance to give it a good listen. But yeah, why they took it out, there's no concrete answer other than the fact that some say it's budgetary. Some say they don't want to pay the license. But regardless, uh, well, we're gonna move on to episode 2.
Right,
Okay.
episode 2.
Episode 2 starts with the big robot battle. Or the big battle. Man, he's about to mess that angel up. He's kind of going crazy. He's kind of like confused because he's this the first time. And Misato is being seen as her yelling orders at Shinji, and then at that point, you realize, oh wait, maybe I judged you too harshly, because Misato is like pulled up her big girl pants, and she's like, or yelling orders and like commands at Shinji as if it's like her job. But anyway, the
Well, I mean,
the fight's
yeah, yeah, keep going.
happening. Shinji's this is his first time, and he's kind of like mentally unprepared for this at all, and he's just like, and then hard cuts to Shinji in the hospital.
Yes.
And hard
Okay, I
cuts is
remember I remember this completely differently. I remember this episode starting off immediately with the boss fight, and it continues on to the boss fight. But I was so shocked when literally the first thing that happened was Shinji wakes up in the hospital. And I was like, "Wait, where's the giant robot fight?" And this episode took its time before it actually went back to the giant robot fight, which is towards the other half of the episode, because the whole point of this episode was what happened after the robot fight that you didn't see, right? And he was in the hospital, and he's like, "Oh, this sucks." Like literally, I guess I could best summarize episode 2 was Shinji wakes up and he realized, I don't want to do this anymore. You know? And then you get the flashback of him in the robot, and like everything goes crazy.
hold on. You jumped a bit ahead, but let me break it down for the people at home. So, like I said, it hard cuts to him in the hospital, and he's just like, "Where am I? This ceiling's unfamiliar." That's a kind of a thing that he says in this episode. Uh, and he doesn't remember the rest of the fight. So then the rest of the episode is like the aftermath of everyone being like, he stopped it. He saved the town. He saved the city. He fought that angel. He beat him. Everyone should be grateful. Yada yada yada. Ba 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 booey. And
Good
then
job, Shinji.
Shinji, good job. And he's like, I don't remember nothing. And then they're like, so are you gonna live with Gendo, your dad? And they're just like, and everyone's just like, no, the Akaris don't live with each other. You know, they hate each other because they have a strained father-son relationship. And then like Misato's like, so you're gonna let this 14-year-old kid live by himself? And then
And he's like, yeah.
yeah, I like
I'm okay
living by
with that.
myself.
No, it's more like I'm used to it and I prefer it this way.
Yeah, and then Misato's like, bullshit, you're a kid, you're 14, I'm in charge of you now, you live with me now. And then it cuts to them being like, yeah, you know, they said it's okay, the boy can live with me.
Then you get the the shopping scene with the KFC.
No, they don't go to KFC.
Okay. Yeah, there is no KFC in that moment. Yeah,
and rebuild it is KFC. in the original series, it's just a convenience store where they buy a bunch of microwavable food and beer because Misato likes beer, but Shinji, he does not drink beer because he's a good boy. And then there's a good scene where they stop on their way to the apartment. They stop, and she's like, "Hey, check this out, big guy, little guy, check this out, big man." And
the sequence of the city coming up, yeah.
Yeah, and they're just like, "You saved that. You did that. You protected this city, and it stands tall and proud because you got in the robot and you killed that monster. You did that. Anyway, let's go home." So they go home, they enjoy a nice time, and things are nice and happy with the happy music. Shinji goes to go take a bath, and he sees the damn penguin, Pen.
Pen.
And of course, this leads to a very iconic scene where Shinji is naked, and he's just like, Misato, what is that? And Misato's like, oh, that's my other roommate. He's a hot spring penguin. As if we're supposed to know what that is. Or he's like, he's a type of bird. He's a hot spring penguin. And then Pen goes back into his like refrigerator because he's a penguin, obviously, and he goes in there.
Smart like that.
Yeah, you know, you do be like that, and that's the only explanation to why there's an
a penguin living with them.
Yeah, you know, things got to be goofy. You know, it's as if to say that when things are in this house, things can be lighthearted and friendly. Because look, there's a weird, goofy animal living there with them. But yeah, he goes to take a bath. He's just like, I don't like baths. I like being stinky because I'm a 14-year-old teenage boy. And then he's done with his bath, and then he goes to sleep, and then he's listening to his Walkman. I think it's very cool that he has a Walkman.
I'm sorry. Hey, by the way, I was gonna bring this up. What year is this setting supposed to be?
Well, obviously the 90s. I think it's like 19... Hold on, I have to double check this just in case.
Because I was thinking about this at the back of my head. And it wasn't just a Walkman, it was a bunch of other things. I was all like, wait a second. What year is this supposed to be taking place in? Because they give you a date They give you a date, you know? And then they tell you, oh yeah, it's 15 years from said date.
2015.
Damn. Shinji got a Walkman in 2015.
You know, because he's like that. You know, he's like that, though. But also because this is made in the 90s, and I don't think they thought about that. You know what?
I always...
Hold on. There is an explanation to this, right? Listen. So Second Impact happened in 2015, and that changed the whole world. So maybe public consumer technology, while other companies are trying to figure out how the hell do we save the world after this big like impact climate change thing happened, what if consumer technology didn't even change much or budge much to like consider the technology to help humanity instead to survive a potential third impact or whatever? And and the Walkman is as advanced as they got because it's 1990 because it was 1995, and while 20 years has passed since it, but because everything else and the world has been focused on trying to save itself, technology has just been stagnant. They're still
Bro,
playing Super Nintendos.
Dude, that's some major cope, I swear.
No.
Look. I get it. I always find it funny, and I like it a lot when, this isn't just for Evangelion. It's for any anime that was made around this time that is set in a futuristic setting. They still have technology from like the 90s or 80s, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, this is like the peak of our technological advancement." So I find that entertaining. Like, realistically, Shinji should not be listening to a Walkman at all.
Well, there he is. No. I just explained that. Listen, man. Companies and technology, humanity is like super strained at the moment. It's all separated. You think Sony is still around to keep making things? You think that they're not going to prioritize saving the world and like trying to rebuild after Second Impact? Because in the next episode, we're told what the hell Second Impact does. But at the same time, we're also not, and we should finish up episode 2 real quick. So episode 2
okay.
ends with Shinji remembering the rest of the fight. And
the fight was brutal, man.
Yeah, it was a pretty good fight. I'm not gonna lie. He remembers the rest of it, and he's just like, And then we see Misato think about the fact that they're all using Shinji, and she generally feels bad because Shinji did do. For his first time, right? But Shinji did do a good thing, and, So what she says about the whole, like, saving the town and being a hero, she's not wrong about it. But she also realizes that Gendo is using him.
Of course.
And Ritsuko's like, well, that's the whole point. We gotta use him. He's the third child. And they throw around terms like that. Third child. And in this episode, we get to see Gendo meet with a bunch of other heads of nerve and talk about Human Instrumentality Project, other AVA units, and my voice is gone. No, I'm kidding. But you get to hear about all these terms, and I would like to say, well, here's what all this means, but the series has not told us this yet, so we have to wait. But all we know is that Shinji's important, and that Unit 1 is very much compatible with him. Much better than it was with Rei.
That, it sucks because I can't get ahead of myself. But episode 1 really is a great introduction to everything that'll happen. And I wanna say this to build off more on Misato's character. Because, how do I put it? So it's that scene where after he goes back in, after the whole penguin thing happens and he goes back in, and then she's all like, maybe I should tone it down a bit. Maybe he'll see right through me if I'm too cheerful. And I'm just kind of like, she's hiding something, And you kind of get that from the first episode too. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm just really like how all this is such a build up to the rest of I would argue like the middle and towards the end of the series.
Yeah. I'm glad that you see it, because honestly, like I said, I kind of want to get ahead of myself, because I'm very much just like, oh man, because it's as someone who's like seen the series for so damn long, and like who will stand by and always defend and it's dumb, and it's kind of sometimes dumb decisions, whatever, but it's very fun though to be like, to pretty much be like, I know something you don't know yet, but the series. But it'd be a big spoiler if I tell you what anything means right now. So it's a whole setup.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's all a setup, right? We're
Yeah.
understanding these terms and what they could mean, but at the same time, we're not really told them. All we know is just due to the lighting of the scene and how the characters are depicted, perhaps this idea of human instrumentality is not a good thing. Perhaps these guys are bad people because they're in a dark room and they talk like this. They're like, Gendo, your son, we're giving you all this money for you to put your son here. It's me, Kermit the Frog. Yeah, Kermit the Frog was one of the guys who's like, I don't know, Gendo. I'm crunching the numbers here, and it seems that the whole Ikari family wants to be a part of this project. You brought your son to pilot this robot, and now you have to do repairs on it because its face melted off. So yeah, episode 2 ends with Masato being like, "Hey, you really did a good thing, and you helped all those people." Anyway,
Good job, Shinji.
good night, Shinji. I see you tomorrow. And then she falls. Then she falls back.
Yeah.
Let's move on to episode 3. So it's the night after, and Shinji's got to go to school, and then we also see Masato's morning routine where she's like a fucking gremlin person in the morning, and she doesn't want to get up. And then we see Shinji; he's got to go to school, right? So Shinji's been going to school for the past couple days, and then people start making a connection. We're like, hey, wait a minute, there's a new pilot of the Ava, because apparently these people just know that there's new Ava pilots, right? These pilots of these big things, and I guess they've already like figured out that Ray might be the other pilot, right? Because Ray's in his class, but she ain't saying nothing. She's just looking out the window like she's the main character. Like bro thinks she's the main character, right?
Yeah.
So one of the students, he's just like, has been missing for a couple days, and he comes back and he's just like, my sister, she got injured during that last fight. I've been staying with her in the hospital because my brother and my uncle and my father have been working very hard, or I think it was his brother or whatever. His family's been working very hard. And then his classmate, the filmmaker kid, Aida, I think, Toji and Aida. Toji's the kid that's gonna be mean with the sister. So he's like, hey, Toji, that kid over there, the newbie, the new transfer student, he showed up right after the day after the Ava attacked, or the Ava attacked that guy. Perhaps he might be the pilot. And then during the whole like lecture, mind you, during this lecture is when I say he explains Second Impact, but the joke is the fact that while you're watching it, you kind of forget that he's explaining Second Impact and how and what all happened, because the students are distracted with the fact that Shinji is the new Ava pilot, and they're just like, is it cool? Is it cool? Is it fun? Can we get in there? And then Toji and Aida are just like, oh, so it's true. He is the pilot. And then hard cut to Toji socking the shit out of Shinji. And he's like, thanks to you and your reckless piloting, asshole, my sister's in the hospital. And then Shinji, like the little baby boy he is, just like, I did not want to pilot the robot. I was forced to. Then Toji turns around and socks him again. And walks away. I'm sorry, it's one of my favorite scenes in that series.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember seeing that scene for the first time, and I thought I was gonna hate Toji.
No.
He became one of my favorite characters by the end of episode 4.
It's funny. I'll explain what I think about that scene in a second. Other than the fact that I just think it's very funny, but I also think it's very telling. And then Ray shows up out of nowhere, and she looks down on him, and she's like, "We have a meeting. We gotta go." And then she like fucking. She just scrambles away, and I swear sometimes in my head when I see her like run away, I could hear the cartoon like scrambling, like running sound.
The sound that goes.
Yeah, like the whole like. But yeah, Then we cut
I'm not
back
gonna
to
lie.
like the
Ray
whole
really does give off NPC
Shinji's
vibes.
training. He's like fire and shoot, release and shoot, back and to the left, and Misato's like, he's doing really well about controlling the Eva and the simulations, and Ritsuko's like, it's because he's being Ritsuko's like, he's doing pretty well, and Misato's like, yeah, it's because he does what he's told to not cause problems. You know, he figures it's easier to just do what he's told. He doesn't even like being here. And then she's like, then why is he even here? And he's like, because he's told to. So then another angel attacks, and then he shows up and everything. And Toji and the classmates are in our shelter, and Aida's just like, dude, I'm a filmmaker. We gotta go see. I gotta take video of the Eva fighting that angel. I gotta see it, man. And Toji's like, fine, let's go sneak off and do that. And then so helplessly, when fucking, Shinji's just like, oh, I guess I have to fight this guy. Oh, boo-hoo, ho-hum. And in the middle of the fight, Toji and Aida get caught up in it, and then they're like, oh, look, civilians. Yo, Shinji, aren't those your classmates? Oh, shoot. Shinji, get him let him hop in the float suit real quick. Get him in there to save them. Oh, no. The Eva, he doesn't like the fact that there's 3 people in here now. Hey, it's gonna be pisser. And hey, Shinji, did you know you only have a minute left of external battery? Because as the show explained itself, we could not give you a good reason other than the fact that technology, this is as far as technology goes to power the Eva. And then Shinji's just like, fine, I'll show you. Ah! And he pulls out the vibrating knife and he stabs the angel and he defeats it while streaming. And his classmates just look very kind of like put off by him streaming. And that's the episode. He beats the angel and his friends, and it saves the town again.
Epic moment for Shinji. Epic win.
Yeah, pretty epic win.
Nah, I wish that were true. Poor Shinji. Okay, where do I start with my thoughts on this episode? Definitely more character focused, less on the oh, it's weird, right? Because you can make the argument, oh, the first episodes were also character focused, but no, I feel like this is so episode 2 was the fallout of after the robot fight, and episode 3 kind of continues it, where Shinji now is just like, oh, I guess this is my life now. Misato's kind of cool, I guess, but I don't want to be here, right? And so I don't know what Shinji did at school. Like, a part of me was like, don't tell him that you're the Eva pilot, but he did it anyways. And I'm just kind of like, you know what? Yeah, I could see a 14-year-old doing that. Because I think this is an important thing about Shinji's character later on. He doesn't, like, he's pretty loner. Like, him and Rei are similar in that they're both loner, like, children. But this kind of proves to us that no, he doesn't really like being alone. Which is, good. That means he's not a crazy psychopath.
You say that, and I feel like you have to give credit to the fact that the show itself tells us that he doesn't like to be alone, but thinks he should be, because straight up, Misato's like, I don't think he has friends at the school, and then Ritsuko's like, have you heard of the Hedgehog's Dilemma? And it's literally within the same episode you're talking about.
Yeah, they explain the Hedgehog's Dilemma.
And it's just like, maybe Shinji is the hedgehog, and he thinks everyone else is hedgehogs because he's afraid of hurting people if they get too close. And that's literally Shinji's whole thing, and the show tells us that.
Freaking the hedgehog
right
dilemma.
Away. Yeah, it's Freudian.
Yeah, but freaking hedgehog dilemma. Gosh, I don't know. It's because it's weird, right? Like they're being. Maybe this will maybe grow my frustration with these characters overall later on, but they're weirdly very observant of Shinji.
It's their job to.
But it's yeah. That's what I'm getting at, right? They're very observant about it, but they don't do much about it either. Because, we still have to get this kid to stay in the robot. So Shinji does what he's told, because it's the easiest thing to do. I don't know, man. Hearing Misato and Ritsuko talking like that about Shinji, it's just, I don't know, it was very weird and off-putting. I'm like, bro, that's weird. I don't know, it just feels weird hearing him talk about Shinji like that. But yeah, Shinji's the hedgehog, everyone else a hedgehog. He was kind of proven. I mean, a lot of it comes with guilt, right? Like he got, first of all, he has his issues with piloting the robot at first, right? And then he didn't know what to do in the robot, and then he feels guilty that he didn't do things correctly in the robot, and you see it with his interaction with Toji, where he's just kind of like he kind of accepts the fact that, like, yeah, I guess I did screw it up in the robot,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good. I think it's a good Shinji episode. Even if I don't know, I still think them talking about him was a little funny and weird, but it works. It works with what the story's trying to tell us about Shinji and his character, which
Well, to kind of just give it a little context in a way, explain why do they spend their time talking about this 14-year-old boy? It's because at the moment the 14-year-old boy is the only thing that can stop them is the only thing that's between them and the angels. They kind of have to care about this kid's mental health, because him doing well means that he can fight things better,
Yeah.
I mean, other than that,
the interaction.
I think
My bad.
I want to talk about my favorite scene in the episode, which is Toji socking Shinji twice. And this is a bit of I'm not sure if you heard about this term in English class, but this is what we call subtext. So it's obvious why he punches him the first time, and it's because
of course.
It's because that his first fight injured his sister. Now, for the rest of the class, is it obvious why he punched him the second time?
Teacher, I believe the reason he punched him the second time is because Shinji didn't take responsibility for it. He was being a
little prick.
Yeah.
So yes, that is a good answer. Essentially, so it's beyond just like him being like, that's what you get for injuring my sister, asshole. It's the fact that Shinji, thinking that Toji would understand. I won't say Toji would understand, thinking that he gets sympathy from Toji. That Toji's about to pull out the world's smallest violin. Because he gets up and responds immediately. I would say not immediately, but right before he can walk away, he gets up and says, I was forced to. I didn't want to pilot the robot, but I was forced to. It's the fact that he's shifting the blame to other people, to an external force, is what pissed off Toji, and I kind of like that scene and like that character more for it.
Yeah.
Because, can you imagine, it's the whole, well, you did save the town, but now it's the whole, dude did not take responsibility for what he did, and is shifting the blame and wants to be sympathetic towards him. Because you know what? Sure, he was forced to get in the robot, but at the same time, all the actions in the robot, he did. That's all him. And you could say, well, not really. Shinji's the one who decided to freak out, and the robot went berserk because of its emotions, of his emotions.
Well, to be fair, he they literally just shoved him in.
They did, but it's irresponsible for him to say, "You're right, man. Hey." Because you know what? Can you imagine if that went better if Shinji was like, I wouldn't say smarter, more. Like I said, I get it, he's 14.
Responsible?
Can you imagine if he was more responsible and said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry that your sister got hurt during that. It was my first time piloting the Eva. I'm gonna do better because I gotta defend the city." Can you imagine if that's what he said instead? And at that point, if I was Toji, I would have been like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. He recognizes his mistakes. Shake hands with him, said, 'Hey, man, I'm sorry for punching you. I just had to because, you hurt my sister, so it's a whole pride thing, dude. I'm sorry.'" Can you imagine if
Yeah.
that was what happened? But no, instead, Shinji decided to be a little baby and say, "It was not my fault. I did not want to pilot it. I'm not." Instead of, but it's the whole thing. The whole point of the episode is that Shinji's doing what he's being told, and then in reality, he's only doing this to gain acknowledgement from his father. Because while he hates his father, mind you that Shinji's not even trying this fight against the angel the whole time in the episode, because, as he says at the beginning, what's even the point if my dad's not watching? He's away on nerve business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually what that's something I want to touch up on. I look, just in the context of these 4 episodes, right? Like, just only in the context of these 4 episodes. If somebody were to come up and like you're saying like, "Oh, Shinji's being a little crybaby, big man, blah, 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 blah," right? And sure, he is. If you're not following Shinji's journey in these 4 episodes, of which you're kind of like, yeah, what Shinji told Toji, yeah, the second time, yeah, that's on him. He should have taken responsibility for it. But at the same time, I don't hate him for it. I'm just kind of disappointed that he shifted blame on someone else. But I don't hate him for it, because I understand that this is a 14-year-old kid who the only reason he's doing this is because he wants to reconnect with his dad, but his dad is a prick who doesn't care about him, and Shinji's wondering this whole entire time, like, should I even try, right? Because ultimately, in this 4 episodes, if you should be thinking about something, when you think about Shinji, it should be his relationship with his dad, because at this point, that's all that really matters to him. Like, he thinks Misato is cool and everything, but the only thing that matters to him is his dad, And this is kind of like what episode 1 does great. Like, I'll always keep praising episode 1, I'm not gonna lie. Episode 1, literally, when they talk about his dad, you get a flashback of him being abandoned. And you see how that affects him so much, especially when he sees his dad, or hears him, I guess. I don't know if he saw him, like, from the distance that they were.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I sympathize with Shinji's struggle with his, like, what he goes for, like, in terms of his abandonment and, like, his reasonings. But that, like you said, it doesn't really excuse, like, his attitude towards why he does things, like when he told him, like, "Oh, I was forced to, I didn't even want to do it." I'm like, bro, you should have just said, "Hey, I'm sorry." Like, he didn't even have to say anything else. He would have just said, like, "Hey, I'm sorry,"
Yeah, because him apologizing for that would still be him taking responsibility.
Yeah. Alright, I think that's it for episode 3. I mean, yeah, his fight against the second angel, which, an important detail I really liked was, like, wait a second, it's 15 years since the last one, and now it's, like, less than, a week for the second one?
Yeah.
So it's, like, setting up, like, oh, yeah, these things are gonna be more frequent. I like that a lot. And I don't know if it was this episode or the next one, they were like, hey, we have to find another child, to pilot another suit. Oh, another robot. But that scene with him and his classmates also in the robot suit, I thought was pretty cool. I think there's a lot to unpack there regarding Shinji's character, and also, like, Misato's character too, because at least in I don't know, because like Misato's trying to be like this. She feels bad for Shinji, so she's trying to help him, but at the same time, she herself realizes that I'm still kind of using him, in a way. So seeing that moment where she's like, "Hey, retreat, because you can't win this right now. It's okay." I think I like that.
And he's like, "No, watch this. I'm gonna prove to my friends I'm epic. I'm gonna prove to my classmates in here that I am epic. And I'm gonna pull out my cool vibrating knife that I mentioned earlier in the episode. Hey, that was a red herring. Hey, that was a bit of a thing. Did I mention that vibrating knife?
Yes, he did with his classmates.
Is there a cool thing you can do? I have a knife that vibrates. Bro, if I was in that room, I'd be like, I'd just be like, that's fucking lame, stupid. It's stupid and lame. But they all sounded impressed by it, and that's okay. They're 14.
Yeah.
Half of these excuses are like, why do the characters do that? Because they're dumb and young. That's really like the whole thing about this.
Yeah, honestly, I think the more complex characters are the adults, because everyone else literally is just young, dumb, and emotionally
stunted,
stressed. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, episode 4. All right, so after that fight with the angel, it's been said that Shinji has been gone from school for the past week, and Misato's like, "Get your butt to school, young man. You need an education." Only to find out that his room is empty, and he left a note, probably saying, it's pretty much telling her, "I am leaving. I am leaving Nerve. I'm leaving all this. I cannot go on. This sucks. You're right. I do not want to pilot the Ava. I don't know what I'm even here for. This is stressful. I'm only 14. Yada, yada, yada." And then Toji and Ada show up, and they're just like, does Shinji live here? And she's like, "Yeah." And we brought him his homework. And then Misato's like, "Oh, it's the guys he saved. And then look, they're being nice. That means Shinji may have made friends. He's not being lonely." And then we're just like, so where's the little piss baby? And he's on the train. He ran away with a little bag, and he's listening to his Walkman, and he's on the train, and he just runs away. The whole episode is him going to different locations, escaping it all, and then Misato and Ritsuko are just like, "Where is Shinji?" And Misato's like, "It's okay. He doesn't want to take responsibility and pilot this thing, even though he's pretty much the only one that can. It's not like we can get another 14-year-old to pilot this thing, but because these things are weird and important, and we don't know why it matters so much that he has to pilot it. But we
don't know why it has to be a 14-year-old. It just has to be a 14-year-old.
No, we know why it has to be 14-year-old. It's because a grown adult can't fit in the cockpit.
Gosh,
a grown adult can't fit in the cockpit, but 3 14-year-old boys can.
This is all Shinji's dad's fault. He designed the stupid machine.
Yeah, on purpose. Do you ever think?
I know.
Yeah, I want to keep
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I know he did it on purpose.
I listen. Don't get ahead of yourself, but at the same time, anytime you have a problem with of why does it have to be like this? Why did they do this? Don't think, was this a written oversight? No, it's all intentional. Always think back. Gendo is described as a smart man. He's in charge. He's just pretty much acting commander of Nerve, right? And he's behind all these projects. He's behind the Ava developments and everything. So anything that you might think is a flaw or unintentional is all him. Why can a 14-year-old only fit in there? Well, did you know that Gendo Ikari has a 14-year-old son?
Yes, sir. I mean, you can even see it in his smirk when he's talking uh, in
Oh
that
yeah,
meeting.
it's all intentional. It's all intentional. Ray is also a 14-year-old girl.
So everything with Gendo is intentional.
Yeah, but back to the whole like episode and whatnot. So, Shinji's going around Tokyo 3. He's depressed. He's just being a loner. Bro watched Driver and Taxi Driver. He watched the movie Driver with Ryan Gosling in it, and he thought I am him. And then we see him. He rides a bus. And we see him kind of in the outskirts, and we see him meet up with Ada, who was just camping. Like, bro is just out there camping. He's just like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, oh, you know me. I'm just having a little bit of fun. And they have like this cool bonding moment where Ada's just like, man, being an Ava pilot must be so cool. And Shinji's like, no, not really. It's not that cool, actually. It just kind of sucks. I hate my dad. And then he's like, can you imagine how worried sick your mom would be if you were an Ava pilot? And he's like, oh, well, my mom is not around.
Dead.
Yeah, my mom's
I,
dead. And she's like, oh. And then,
no, but Shinji pulled a "you too" moment.
yeah, oh yeah, there you go, yeah. So, they have a cool little camp out, and then nerve agents hunt down Shinji, and they're just like, give us the boy. And then Ada's like, hey, Shinji, I think these guys are here for you, man. Then we go back.
And then
Then we go back to the school, and then
Toji's like mad at him.
Toji's like, why'd you let them take Shinji? And he's like, they're dudes, they're men in black. What was I supposed to do? Fight them off? And then the episode goes back with like Shinji being like, yeah, I'm gonna quit Nerve. I'm gonna leave. This place sucks. I'm a moody kid. And then he sees his friends, and he's like, you know what? No. I'll stay back. I will pilot the robot. Let me back in. And they're just like, okay. That's episode 4.
Yeah. Episode 4, in that context, episode 4 is really, really short.
No, but here's the thing. A lot of the time,
it's all visual.
It's all visual, or characters talking about Shinji being a little bitcher. He's like they're like this little kid. He doesn't realize how important he is. But it's a really cool thing because then we get to see that Shinji is making friends. He was able to relate to Aida. I swear, I'm gonna be mad. I just realized maybe I've been pronouncing his name wrong the whole time, but.
Well, it happens. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't. He doesn't.
His name was Ida. My bad.
Ida?
I think. Yeah, his name was Kensuke Ida, and they call him Ida. I've been trying to call him Aida. I'm so sorry to anyone who watches the series. It's just been like, they've just been so fuming in the comments. It's been Aida. It's been Ida. 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 His name has been Ida. My bad. Toji and Ida.
Toji and Ida. Yeah. Shoot. What else was I gonna say?
No, but like I was saying, he has this really cool bonding moment with his classmate, and they share like the tent together, and they're able to bond with the fact that I guess they're kind of yeah, they're orphans.
They're orphans.
I would say they're orphans. I mean, Ida might just be an orphan because he's just camping out in the middle of the woods, and he acting like this is normal. Either his dad don't care, or his dad's kind of just whatever about it, or or he could be an orphan. But the fact that they're both missing their mothers is a good little indicator of like, oh, they have this shared connection with them. They're gonna start becoming friends because they all, because they care about me. Even Toji's just like, how did you let him get taken away like that? These two classmates, they're seen to care about this guy, and that's
No, you know one of my favorite scenes of that episode
mm,
is when they're there at the train station waiting for him, and he's like, "How'd you know I'd be here?" He's like, "Oh, I mean, come on, you're not the first one to leave." And then a few things happen, right? Like Shinji punches Toji because Toji's like, "Hey, please punch me. I can't live with myself if we're not even like that, right?" But it's the scene where they tell him, "Hey, we know, because we were there, that you hate piloting that thing. So we're not mad that you're running away." You know, like that scene was so touching, and the fact that we're like, if anybody gives you like, anybody talks bad about you, man, or behind your back or anything, I'm gonna beat them up, right? And I was just
mm-hmm.
like, bro, that's a friend right there. And it's that moment where Shinji realizes like, stupid hedgehog conversation. I don't know. I still think it's kind of weird, right?
Do you
But
think? Do you think it's no?
yeah,
It's okay. The Hedgehog's Dilemma is an actual thing you can look up. You can look
I,
up.
I think the thing that makes it weird is, I guess, just the way they brought it up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's funny. I think it's funny because in the end, it's literally like, I guess Shinji finally is finally what did they say? Shinji's finally a hedgehog who found himself or something like that. I don't know. It was something like that. I thought that was funny.
I
It's
think you're laughing
hilarious,
because I
but
think you're laughing just because you're remembering Sonic.
no, I'm not. Trust me. I think it's funny that they're just that they're like, Shinji's a hedgehog.
I'll
It's like
get
this
that.
little rat, this little rodent.
I'll get that blasted hedgehog.
But yeah, Shinji solves his hedgehog dilemma, I guess, and he's because he finally is all like, I do have friends, or at the very least he's like, these people, like, I have people who are willing to understand me, you know, like kids his age, because we also see at the end Misato coming in trying to catch up to Shinji.
Yeah. So yeah, it
But
ends on that positive note that Shinji is indeed getting friends, but we'll see how long it lasts. I'm kidding. No, no. Let's have hope for the
Shinji the
future.
hedgehog.
Shinji the Hedgehog. That's probably a real thing. If it, you know what, editor me, he'll put an image up right now of Shinji the Hedgehog if it's real. If it's not, then he won't pull it up. But it'd be funny. But anyway, all
So yeah,
right.
that was episode 4.
That was episode 4. That was the first 4 episodes of Evangelion, ending with Shinji kind of like realizing that what he's got to do is important for people, and that now that he's in this position where where he can do the right thing, and guess what? He has backing from other people too, not just people that want to use him, but people who are
But
like who are legit gonna be like his friends.
yeah,
But yeah, um,
I'd like to share my overall thoughts on these 4 episodes.
go
I
ahead.
wrote them down. I wrote them down in three things. One is, was it 3 things? Or maybe it was, maybe like 2, right? No, there was 3 things I wanted to share, right? First thing was characters. So I actually like the characterization for these characters, because I don't know, like, I'm personally rooting for Shinji. Like, I want this kid to heal and to have some good memories, some good times with friends and whatever, and eventually learn how to pilot the robot appropriately. So, like, the characterization and like the way the story's going for each of these characters is really great. However, if you were to give me like one word to describe every character, overall, like my first impression is these characters are awful. Like, okay, gets cooler, right? But she's willing to use a 14-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Ritsuko is willing to use a 14-year-old. His dad's a muck. We don't even have to mention him. Ray's empathetic, or no, apathetic towards everything. Even Toji in the initial parts, he's a little awful, but that immediately fixes himself. Like I'm saying, Toji's my favorite character so far. Shinji himself is an awful character. Sure, we're getting his story from his perspective, and you feel bad for him, but ultimately, the little homie needs some help. But overall, everybody is awful. Like, Nerve kind of sucks.
Oh yeah, I mean it's obvious that they do. I mean they built these robot artificial humans to be piloted by children, and especially children in the middle of it's such a weird and emotional time for them.
Yeah, and then another thing is the background characters, like the people who are working in the background, like the computer people, the machinery people, the students. Even they're kind of awful too, especially at Nerve, because especially in episode 1, where you see everybody just looking at this awkward conversation between a kid and his dad, and they don't do anything about it afterwards. The only person who told Shinji that he did a good job was Misato. Not anyone else at Nerve. Not Ritsuko, not any of the computer people, definitely not his dad, but not even any of the engineers or the people who helped him get to the hospital were all like, hey kid, you did good. No one. They were apathetic to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Poor Shinji. Anyways, okay, that.
I'm glad you're so passionate about how this world has built terrible. This world is being rebuilt and supported by terrible people. Perhaps this was an allegory that the director Hideaki Anno intended. But we'll get into that as we get further into the series. As for now, I believe this is where we end it.
Oh, okay. I just want to say one more thing.
Draw your weapon. I'm kidding. No.
Yeah. No. One last thing.
Oh yeah, one last thing. I know you did it.
I'm gonna put them together. I love the artwork. It's just in general, like it's so great. Like the watercolors in the background, the animation, it's great. I also noticed that there were some instances where I can tell they, especially in episode 1, like that really long scene where they're going up the elevator to see the robot. It's just a still image. Limited, and you can notice limited animation in certain parts. And I really like that because it's funny because I know for a fact if there's limited animation in an episode, it's about to go down somewhere else.
Oh yeah,
but,
I mean the whole thing about scheduling. People have just discovered that this new thing about animation schedules and how animators plan out things sometimes. Thanks to Invincible Season 2, because there was a whole weird meta moment where Bart's like, "What? Did we seance start Season 2?" And they explain did you know that animators? Because it's taken a while. Because animation takes a bit of while. Animators cut corners by not having Mauser shown or having a camera pan over a still shot to give it this illusion of movement, where nothing's actually moving at all. Yeah, Evangelion cuts a lot of corners, and you're gonna see that as the series goes down even more and more and more further along the way. You're gonna see moments of the fact that this is not much of a spoiler, but Shinji and we're gonna see Rei and Asuka in the elevator, and it's gonna be a way longer scene than the one we saw
It,
with Misato and Shinji in the elevator.
yeah.
And people will say that scene is super important. You don't understand that scene. It means a lot. That whole that like good 3 minutes of still image of that scene.
Oh
Yada,
yeah. It's a great scene for 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's a 40-second scene that makes it feel like a 40-hour scene.
4 days, bro.
It makes it feel like it's 4 days long. Shoot.
Yeah.
I think I just got older watching that scene. I looked outside and the seasons changed.
Yeah. Part of it goes to episode 4 too. I love all the watercolor they did for episode 4. All of it. Shinji, the red scene with Shinji where he starts hearing a noise or whatever. When his friend Ida's in the field. Chef's kiss. It's beautiful. I loved it. I love watercolor.
Good.
Wish I could do it, but I don't.
You know what they say, man? Practice makes perfect.
That's true. Okay, last thing, which goes on with this is, as I was watching episode 4, I realized I want to watch this on a CRT. Because I wasn't watching this in my room. I was watching this on the big screen in the living room. And I was kind of thinking to myself, man, if only people could watch this on the big screen. But then I noticed that, there is a limit to the size of the picture. And then I went back to noticing the quality of it. And it's good quality. But I'm thinking to myself, I should be watching this on a CRT.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's okay because at least Netflix keeps it to its original 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
that's all I got to say about that. I legitimately was thinking towards the end, man, am I missing something for not watching this on a CRT? I don't know. Maybe that's something to think about for later.
I mean, I have the VHS version.
That's right, you do.
Yeah, I have up until episode 8 on VHS. If you feel like if you really feel like it, I can see if I can dig them up for my storage and hand them over, so you can enjoy the watching on a CRT. If not, then whatever. It's fun.
Yeah.
But
that's all I gotta. That's all I got to say about this. That's the end of my thoughts.
Well, my thoughts is that I'm glad to hear your thoughts, because I get to sit here and I'm like, I know all the answers, and I know all the answers. I know everything's happening. I just like hearing your reaction and your thoughts so far on something, because you have certain thoughts on things that I can't talk about just yet, but I'm like sitting over here giddy. I'm like, I can't wait till you encounter it. Because, it's all going to be payoffs. This whole series is payoffs for me, right? So... Anyway, got any more thoughts?
No, that's it.
Alright, well, that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in. I know it's a bit long, but I mean, you sat there and you listened to it, so it's your time wasted, not mine. I don't care. I'll be here all day if you want me to. I'm kidding. No, that's cynical of me to say. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you really enjoyed listening to this, and I hope it encourages you to want to watch this series as well. And as I've been saying and reiterating, every time we upload this, we'll be 4 episodes in further. So if you feel the need and you watch this, feel free to watch the episodes beforehand or along. I don't know. You can do that if you want. But regardless, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Brofist.
See you next week.